Wow.
So since you basically, you're laying it all up for me, okay? And then I'm sure this is in your book too, but since we're talking about that, how do you market yourself, or what are some few tips? I know you don't want to give away all your goodies, but
no, I can give away anything you want.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So a couple things. Like one, again, I would say a big thing is that you are proactive in doing something, and it's more than just kind of sitting back and waiting for the phone to ring. So one of the actually, let's do this. So inside the book, we give what we call the Speaker Success Roadmap, and this is a 5-step process that makes the acronym SPEAK, SPEAK. So let me give you the high level view here, and then we can kind of dig in on some of those steps that you need to be taken. But the first part of the process, the S, is the most important part of the process. If you get this part right, everything else we'll cover becomes much simpler. But the first part of the process, the S, is to select a problem to solve. Select a problem to solve. And so this comes down to two things. One is you need to be really, really clear on who it is that you speak to. You need to be clear on that, because most people are like, man, I just want to speak. Who do I speak to? I speak to people. I speak to humans. My message is for everybody, right?
Yes,
But like, the more you try to appeal to everybody, the more you're appealing to nobody. So you got to be clear on, this is who I speak to. The second part of the equation is not only who you speak to, but what is the problem that you solve for that audience? What is the problem that you solve for that audience? So again, it's kind of the mistake that some speakers make is like, hey, what do you speak about? And speakers are like, well, what do you want me to speak about? Man, I can speak about leadership or sales or motivation or customer service or family or parenting or marriage or golf, or just like, man, even if you know something about all those things, even if you're passionate about all those things, you do not want to try to position yourself as a go-to person who can speak on all those things.
Yeah.
So one thing we say all the time is that you want to be the steakhouse and not the buffet. The steakhouse and not the buffet. And what we mean by that is, if the three of us were going to dinner and we were looking for a good steak, we have a choice. Like, we could go to a buffet where steak is one of 100 different things that they offer, and they're all mediocre. Or you could go to a steakhouse where they do one thing, but they do that one thing really, really well. So they don't do tacos, they don't do lasagna, they don't do pizza, they don't do cupcakes, they do steak, and that's it. But they're really good at that. And so by saying, no, we just do this, then it's easier to attract the right type of clientele and customers and repel the wrong type. Like, if you're a vegetarian, you're probably not going to the steakhouse, and that's okay, right? Versus trying to be like, man, but I want to appeal to everybody, right? And so again, it's counterintuitive, but the more narrow, the more clear, the more focused you are, the easier it is to actually find and book gigs. So let me give you one more analogy with this. Let's imagine that, God forbid, one of us needed to have brain surgery. All right. Then you have a choice. Like, you could go to your local family medical doctor, and they are a doctor. They went to medical school. They probably performed some surgeries before. They probably know more about the brain than any of us do, but they haven't actually done brain surgery. Or you could go to a brain surgeon, where, like, day in and day out, that's what they do. Like, if you have a broken arm, you don't go to them. If you got a bad cough, you don't go to, if you got the Rona, you're not going to them. But if you got a brain issue, that's the doctor that you want to go see, right? So instead of a family medical doctor who's like, man, I've never done brain surgery, but I'll figure it out. Yeah, it's one of those things. We'll be all right. Like, I don't want that guy working on me. I don't want that guy operating on me, right? But that's the thing that we do as speakers. It's just like, yeah, I can speak on this and this and this and this and this. And who do I speak to? I speak to everybody. Versus like, no. You are a steakhouse. Solve one specific problem for one specific audience. So I know I spent a lot of time on that, but if you get that part right, again, it makes it easier to find the right type of audience. So